And you guys can email us, sportskingslive@gmail.com. Like I said, today is going to be one of those, basically what's in the headlines type story. We got not the final four, we got the final four teams, or final four games, of the Sweet 16 going on tonight, if I can get that out of the old dome here. Rob also mentioned earlier Kevin Durant, who, by the way, is not cursed unless you believe in that foolery. He's a 7-footer with feet issue. We've heard that story before. Everybody remember the first pick of the draft, the Jordan draft, Sam Bowie? You've heard it before.
Yeah.
Anybody remember Bill Walton?
Oh, man.
You've heard it before. Big guys. And the things that Kevin Durant does on his feet are a lot different than the things Sam Bowie and Bill Walton did. Like, this dude puts a lot of pressure. He's not a big guy by any means. He's a slender gentleman, but he puts a lot of pressure on those feet, making those cuts and those crossovers and those dribbles and things of that nature. So what everyone, including myself, because what you'll hear from me if you continue to listen to this podcast is that I'm a guy who hates to see unrealized potential. Like, I can't, for whatever reason. Like, if a dude goes to jail, if a dude gets, catastrophically injured, whatever, I can't stand to see unrealized potential. So the hope is that he'll have this. What he's having is a bone graft surgery, because some kind of way, I don't know what's going on with people putting these screws in people's feet, because we've seen it down here with Julio Jones. It's like, why you can't get it right the first time?
Work.
Like, you gonna put a screw in somebody's foot? Like, it need to be done right, because it turns out bad inevitably. So now Kevin Durant has to have a bone graft surgery to alleviate the pain that he's having in his feet. And they're talking about him being out for about 6 months with this. So, there is now, another injury coupled with the Serge Ibaka injury, the latest Enes Kanter injury, and then there's Russ, the little Russ that could. He's just pushing on, but it's an unwarranted cause at this point. Like, they'll make a playoff appearance, and that'll be it. It'll be an appearance.
Like, I look at the whole screw situation, and I've never actually seen the surgery. I've seen a lot of different type surgery, but I haven't seen, how they put, do the screw and, connect it back to the bone. I haven't seen that personally. But when I think about a screw, and I know, Mike, you're a handy dude, so I know you put things together around the house. And you know how when you put these wooden furniture pieces together, like, you only really have one time to get it right. Because if you don't get that screw in that little bitty hole the right way the first time, like, you're never gonna be able to pull the screw back out, or it's gonna be wobbly once you get everything together. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm listening.
I mean, but that's how I look at this stuff. I mean, you mentioned like the whole Julio scenario. Had the screw put in the foot prior to the Atlanta Falcons drafting him, and then he had to go back under the knife again.
Well, his was different. His broke. Like, the titanium screw broke.
The screw broke.
That was kind of weird.
Well,
it was made out of titanium.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how much pressure are you putting on your feet? Is what I mean, I've had a pin put in my pinky before. It wasn't a screw. It was a titanium rod, because I crushed my pinky practicing before, and so they could have let it heal by itself, but I'd had to miss too much time, and I wasn't trying to hear that. So they just drilled a hole through the fragments that were broken, and put a pin diagonally through the bone to help it heal.
Were you asleep?
Nah, I was. They shot me. They gave me a couple shots at the base of the pinky to numb it. I was like, "No, y'all not putting me to sleep. That's not happening." Nah.
Did you feel it? You didn't feel anything?
No, you could hear it, which kind of triggers your brain to feeling it, because you hear the zzz when it hits the bone, so you feel the vibration. But I didn't feel no pain or anything until the pain meds wore off, and 2 days I was back at practice. Yeah, I mean, I missed.
Oh, man.
I mean, I practiced another time after I crushed it. Like, I did it. We was doing 2-a-days in the summer, and I did it that morning. And because I'm stupid, I didn't realize it was broken. I thought it was jammed. So I'm sitting there tugging on it, trying to unjam it when actually my finger is crushed.
It even worse.
Yeah. So when they took the X-ray, it was like, your finger is crushed. So that was that.
You played a role in it.
Yeah, and then because I practiced that evening as well, that afternoon I practiced as well, and then it just got progressively more swollen, and then the doc was like, "We got to take some X-rays of this," and then they realized the words he used was that your finger is crushed. So there's that. So yeah, Kevin Durant's got a. I guess the screw is cool, but he's having too much discomfort. That's the problem. It's causing him pain.
So they go have to adjust it. So it's like it's too tight. They might just have to adjust it or something like that.
They're bone grafting it. They're taking bone, and I think what they usually do with bone graft, I should have to see because I'm an idiot. I didn't look this up, but I believe what bone grafting is, they take like a piece of bone off of like your hip or something, off another part of your body, and put.
Oh my
Speaking
God.
of, look, this is what I learned the other day. I'm glad I said that. This is what I learned the other day. Remember we was talking about one of our former coworkers and the whole taking the fat from the belly, and
right, put it in the butt.
It's different. That's not how it's done. It's a smoothing process. So it's uninvasive. I learned this off of TMZ the other day. They don't suck anything out. They basically liquefy it and just like mush it into the area that they wanted to be in.
And smooth with their hands. Really?
That's definitely a win-win, cuz that is a win because there's no like incision or none of that. If I heard them right,
then that's why they have to wear the body wrap to keep it firm until it come out of the liquid form and back into. Okay,
dude, I love technology. That's outstanding. Which, by the way, is another reason. In 2 years, you can't be trying to stick no fingers in me. Because if you can do that, if you can make a broad slim in the waist.
Stop. You need to clarify what you're saying.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now.
That didn't sound right.
I'm doing it right now. Let me finish. If you can just take a broad who's a little pudgy in the waist and a little flat on the back end and just rearrange things without going into her body, yeah, you can check my prostate without going into my body. Plain and simple, dude. Yeah, you can't convince me that in 2015 that's the best way to do things. Just saying. So anyway, yeah, I learned that the other day while we're talking about surgeries and Kevin Durant's feet. That just came back to my mind. That yeah, they explain how this is done, and I was like, "Word?"
I mean, but how do you do it? Like, you got to really put the belly under a lot of heat in order to be able to like melt the.
Come on, man.
Fat cells underneath. Like,
Rob, you got to be a dude on this one. Do you really care how the sausage is made? let's be for real. I have none of those questions that you have. I don't. Like, I just understand it for what it is. The fat goes from here and it ends up here. Done. Done.
Yeah, I mean, but can they? Well, all right. Well, I need to. Okay.
Yeah, you're asking too many questions. Win is a win. I don't care how you won.
I'm just curious about that kind of stuff. All right.
I don't care how you won. I'll just know your score was higher than the other teams. You're the victor.
That's right.
Boom.
That's right. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Because
they melt it like Jell-O.
If you ever seen what's that stuff called? Liposuction? Like, dude, that's very invasive. It's basically a razor on the end of a dang vacuum, and they're like jabbing it into your, like, if it's your stomach, they're like jabbing it into your stomach. And if they don't do it right, dude, they like hit like nerves, and people have ended up like numb on sides of their body because they've killed their nerves, or like on the back of the leg, wherever they got the process done, because the instrument is so sharp that they're doing the vacuuming with. If you got somebody who's not doing it right, it'll mess you up. So when I heard
flatulence problems.
Yeah, when I heard that you ain't even got to go in, you just like soften it up and just move it, just move it to the right area.
Awesome.
I was like, yeah, that's a
awesome.
win. That's a win.
Boy, that's awesome.
I definitely can't be mad at that.
Well, yeah,
no one who has that.
That's crazy.
Only women can be mad at something like that. Like, look at her. Why is her butt like that? Yeah, why is her butt like that? We're asking the same questions, but guess what? We're asking it in two different ways. Why is your butt like that? I'm so curious. Oh, yeah. Winning. And any dude who says those type of things, dude, I automatically look at them like this one dude was I guess he was talking to Golf on Twitter, and he was like, "God, Kardashian, she's so damn fake. She's nothing but a porn star." first of all, that's not true. And I was like, and I just jumped in. I was like, yeah, it sounds like a broad. He was like, no, all guy here. And I was like, nope, I'm going to stick to my first assessment, broad. Because no dude thinks that way. Yeah, she's a porn star. She did a tape with her boyfriend at the time that got out. And she won off of it. Cool. All you broads that are making tapes with your dude and getting nothing, continue to be mad. This chick is as rich as she'll ever be right now. Yeah, good luck.
That's right.
Good luck, homeboy. Yeah, whatever. She's a porn star. Second of all chicks that do porn aren't porn stars. I don't know why we call them that. Like, just because you bang a dude on tape and it gets sold, don't make you a star. You just bang a dude on tape. Right. There's certain chicks that are. Like, if I say Jenna Jameson, people know who Jenna Jameson is. She's a porn star. She's a star. She's known across different other mediums than just pornography. But just to, like, label somebody a star because, they bent over and took it from Mr. Marcus, all right. Nah, not really.
That just means you got banned. Yeah, don't even use Mr. Marcus, for example, no more. Because, he had to retire from the game.
Well, I mean, eventually, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because he over there, he had tested positive for something.
Syphilis.
I forgot what he tested positive for.
Hey, that's just, to me, that's par for the course in that game.
Well, yeah.
It's a long game of Russian roulette. Eventually, somebody's going to get shot.
Yeah. At least, yeah. That's crazy.
Exactly. It wasn't a total package. Everyone's still alive, so there's that. We're talking about the NBA right now. Speaking of injury, man, right here on the home front, Jeff Teague, he's going to miss the next game with an ankle injury. We kind of alluded to it yesterday. Kind of just freak injury, turned the corner on the baseline and just rolled his ankle over. And so now he's going to be, I think he's more of a day-to-day situation. Nothing very, very dramatic is going to be going on with him. As far as we know so far, we don't know. They got an 8.5 game, something like that, lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there's no real risk of them losing the number one seed. So the most important thing for the Atlanta Hawks is to make sure, well, two things I should say, is that they're going to the playoffs healthy, one, and with that continuity that we talked about yesterday, being able to run their offense, run the stuff that their defensive sets crisply the way they did during that nice little run they had right before the All-Star break after starting the season off 6-7. What else is happening in the NBA? Bob Cousy. I had to make sure I read this after I read the headline that Bob Cousy, Hall of Fame point guard, says that Hassan Whiteside actually reminds him of the greatest champion of all time, Bill Russell. And I was immediately as I saw it, it caught my attention, because I like the kid. I think he has some raw skill and his talent is very, very evident. But, again,
when was the last time we heard that, though? Like, we always hear about, like, the next Jordan or, the next point forward, comparing them to Scotty or something, or, the next Shaquille O'Neal. Like, can't.
When's the last time you saw a big man rebound and block shots like this dude? See, that's the first question you got to ask yourself. When's the last time you saw that guy?
I think right now, DeAndre Jordan does a good job of that as well.
Yeah, but DeAndre's he doesn't block shots. Like the first time I saw this dude play basketball, that Sunday afternoon, he blocked 12 shots and no one knew who he was. Right. You know what I mean? Like DeAndre don't get him in at that clip. You see what I'm saying? So, needless to say, I saw the headline, and before I freaked out about it, I said, because initially it was going to be another episode of Old Guy Stop Talking. My favorite new segment.
Very old guy.
Initially it was going to be that, but I was like, don't put that on him, Mike. Not yet. Read. Okay, so I read. And here's his quote. And I've never said this, quote, I've never said this in 40 years since I retired, Cousy said in a recent telephone interview, quote, but he is the first big guy, not Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, who reminds me defensively and on the boards of Russell. He runs the floor well. He has excellent timing. He blocks shots, and this is the big part. He blocks shots and keeps them in play the way Russell did. And that's one of the things you always hear about Bill Russell is like he was one of those dudes with them soft hands that if he blocked your shot, he might as well damn near catch the damn
He catch it, yeah.
He blocked it so soft, it always stayed in bounds. He wasn't trying to like volleyball your junk to the first row and make a point.